Hello, and welcome on back into our OBS class. It's been over a month since I've done this, and I apologize, but a lot of things have happened. We're back on the YouTubes. It's kind of weird in a way because I feel like I haven't done this in a minute. But one thing I did notice is that I always wear the same shirt. Like, I don't know if it gives me special powers or whatever to teach, like, you know, some OBS, like, guru stuffs or whatnots, but oh well, we're just gonna rock and roll with it. Thank you for watching this, whether this is the live stream or it's the recording, past recording for the YouTube channel. I like to spend like the first 5 to 10 minutes, like I say in all my other classes, to talk with everybody that is in the live stream. So if you are rewatching this to learn a little bit more about OBS and everything, you could just skip like 10 minutes into this stream, and you should be good to rock and roll. Klingon, how we feeling? How we doing? Shoto, Purple, great to see you. Hello. And yeah, I'm having some late coffee, and I have no shame. I have no shame in that whatsoever. Tried streaming yesterday, and all I got was a black screen. Well, I mean, there's definitely like basics to OBS that I do have like on the channel, but what's cool about the live streams that I do here is Q&A is open no matter what we're going to be discussing. Today we're going to be discussing bitrate and a couple other plugins that I think are essential and are fun to implement into your content creating lives. So I think that's what we're going to be focusing on today. I already had everything prepped and ready to rock and roll for today's lesson. So yeah, ready to rock and roll. Like coffee all the time. I don't do it all the time. I like waking up early in the mornings. I think like waking up early in the morning gives me more purpose, and it strives me to like do better. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when it comes to OBS plugins and everything else, like it's just fantastic. There's a lot of people I've talked to, especially recently, and I'm just gonna tell you again, no, you cannot do this on Streamlabs. I like you. I'm sorry, you just can't. Go to OBS. It's better. Your PC will thank you. I'll thank you. Like, you could use whatever you want, but the things that I mainly teach is only for OBS Studio. So if you are using Streamlabs, I would recommend switching over to just regular OBS. It's just better, you know. Like it has more opportunities to do things. I've always enjoyed it. I actually started off with streaming on Streamlabs, and fun fact, it's garbage. It's just garbage. It's just terrible. I had so many issues with a lot of the settings and a lot of the different things that I had to implement on there. It was just rough. Trying to quit coffee though, health reasons. Yeah, no, I definitely feel that. I don't know if I'm gonna quit coffee. I have 1 cup. Like, there's some people that have like this much coffee in their day, or like 2 cups, 3 cups, you know, of coffee throughout the day. I like my 1 cup of coffee. I don't think I'm gonna give up that. I think that's a routine that I really like. You know, like, sure, it's not good for you, but I'm just sitting over here like, but it's 1 cup a day. Like, it adds up, but I don't know. That's just me. Never streamed on Streamlabs, but I have an account. Don't use it. Delete it. Burn it. Just toss it into the fire. All right? Just toss it into the fire. Get rid of it. You don't want it. You don't need it. Can't confirm. Also, cool. I'm working with crowd control stuff today, so I'll be listening. No worries, Shadow. Absolutely. I completely understand. Crowd control is like a really interesting thing. I like that because it actually affects the game more. Like, Dixper's fun and everything, but crowd control is like way like more unique in its own essence on how it actually messes up, like, and it's included in the game. Like, your head becomes bigger, you know, and everything else. There's definitely a lot of like API coding, like when it goes along with all that stuff. But yeah, Witchy, welcome on in. Hello, and happy birthday again. I hope you have enjoyed your birthday to the fullest. Toss it into the Hellmouth in Maine. I mean, that works too. I have both Streamlabs and OBS Studio just in case one needs an update, and I can't update one I could use the other one. I mean, I guess it's good to have a backup. I suppose, but having 2 open broadcasting softwares downloaded on your computer, I mean, you do you, boo-boo, you know? Yeah. Such a pro streamer. I've been doing this for almost 5 years. I'm not a pro streamer at all. At all. You're constantly learning. That's the thing about this industry. I'm constantly learning. Like, there's no mastery. There really isn't. You're always constantly learning, like, new things, new innovative ways to connect with your audience and be more interactive, and so many other things that go along with it, right? Dixper kills my computer, so I can't run it anymore. Yeah, that's understandable. Dixper definitely takes up a lot of resources. That's another reason why I stopped using it. No, I'm a pro streamer. Oh, you are a pro streamer. Oh. Well, if you're a pro streamer, like, I mean, I guess you don't need the class then, I suppose, you know, because you already know all the things. Sarcasm implied. You're good. Apple for the teach. I appreciate that, Witchy. I love apples. I really do. They are absolutely delicious. There's one thing that we definitely need to discuss before we talk about more plugins. If you don't understand what a plugin is, basically a plugin for OBS is implementing something new into the software that you can utilize, whether it is a filter, a source. It basically makes your life easier, right? Like, where the opportunities to do things are exponential, like in so many different ways. There's so many things that you're going to be able to accomplish when you download these. The only thing you got to make sure is that you update them. A lot of people forget to update their plugins, and then it doesn't work. No. And then they come to me, and they're like, "Why isn't this working?" And 9 times out of 10, it's not working due to the fact of, you know, of one simple thing, and it's just because they didn't update their plugin. It's just like updating your phone or resetting something. Like, you gotta be able to do that. You know what I mean? Otherwise, like, you're gonna be up, you know, the creek without a paddle. That's just how it goes. Yeah. Me too. Yeah. Wash your plugin first. Malware can get. Oh my god. Yeah. Malware like is awful. Oh my god. If you ever get malware, please take care of that immediately. But all right. Without further ado, we're just gonna dive into everything. I like to tell everyone I do talk a lot, and there is gonna be a lot of information that, you know, y'all are taking in. Hopefully, like, I'm really hoping that one of these days, when I get back on a more consistent live schedule on my YouTube channel and everything else, that we can, like, reach out more to others, because I really do have a high passion about teaching OBS and settings and the things that I've learned and utilizing my experience. And then there's going to be things that I don't know. And that's why I say you and me both learn on over on my Twitch channel, because, you know, if y'all didn't know, I also stream on Twitch Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 6 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time. The link to that is in the description below. So, without further ado, we need to talk about the one thing that always gets people. The one thing that I've been told. Like, I have helped over 100 content creators in OBS since I started streaming on the platform. And there's one thing that people have been coming up to me recently. And they've been telling me the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And it is our favorite thing. I'm not going to talk about it that long, so grab a pencil or whatever. You can take notes, you know, whatever fits the bill. Let me show you. So, like, there's this thing, right? And we're just going to call it the good old bit rate, okay? So bit rate, if you did not know what this is information that is being sent over to your streaming server, okay? Whatever it is. It could be YouTube, it could be Twitch, it could be Facebook, it could be TikTok, it could be all these different things, right? So, like, the one thing everyone says is, oh, you gotta have, like, the highest bit rate and everything else. No, that's not true. Like, there's some, I've tested a theory like these past couple, I would say like the last 6 months. And the theory is that like I have the capability to stream at 6,000, right? Like 6,000 bitrate is the highest you can go as an affiliate on Twitch, right? So, you know, I'll just put Twitch, right? But the problem is that the majority of people that are watching on Twitch have a cell phone that they're usually watching their streams on, you know, with like good old chat and everything else. You know, you got Mr. Streamer Man and everything else. The problem is that like if you set your bit rate to 6,000, then what ends up happening is people that have a cell phone, what ends up happening is when your service, like, you know, those bars, like you have like the little T or whatever, and then you have like these little bars that go like up, up, and up. You know what I mean? And then like it'll say like 5G or whatever. Well, let's say that like you're out and about and you know you're doing stuff at work, and then like let's say that your phone signal right here, let's say it drops down to like 2 bars or something, right? So the first thing you would do is like, all right, I got to lower the latency. I got to lower the encoder to like, I don't know, like 480 or something like that. Some people can't do that, right? So what ends up happening is when you're sending the server like bitrate over, bitrate is for like clear image, right? Like that's video being processed over to their server. 6,000 is not enough. Like on YouTube, I can go up to like right now I'm at like 10,000 bitrate. That's why everything looks all like clean and everything and not pixelated. The problem is on your cell phone when you have your bitrate set to this right here. The problem is that when y'all are watching Twitch streams, right? And it's set to 6,000, like regardless of the encoder, right? What ends up happening is like, here's Mr. Streamer Man. Yeah. You're watching him, you know, you're trying to talk and chat and everything, but everything looks like garbage. Or you get this buffering. You get that good old buffering, you know, symbol that just goes like, you know, all the way around, right? And it's just constantly buffering and buffering and buffering. So the reason for this is because you can't keep up with this, right? So what I found out that works better is actually going to like something in between. Like I stream at 4,500 kilobytes per second, right? That's what I stream at. Everyone's asked me like what settings I have and you know how does like my stream look the way it does. There's like a couple of things to go with this, right? Like number one, like you know, you're going to get more retention from mobile users because now they can see you because you're not streaming at the highest bit rate where they're not getting enough data from the cell phone towers and everything else because they don't have Wi-Fi. Maybe you're out and about. You don't have access to Wi-Fi, right? So these towers, right? So these towers that are sending out, you know, the good old, like, I'm just going to like make this tower like look like a mountain. Yeah, why not? Looks like a teepee. I don't care. Moral of the story is that it's sending out all these signals while everyone is down here and like everyone's trying to watch, you know, their favorite, you know, YouTubers and creators and everything else. But now they're upset because they're not able to because again, they keep getting this buffering. That's all they see. It's just constant buffer. There's 2 ways to alleviate this, you know, to where this will not happen. And the first thing is to lower your bitrate, like, because until Twitch allows us to go like YouTube, which is like, I don't know, like on YouTube, I can go up to like 10K, like 10,000 bitrate, right? But again, mobile users, like there's a lot of encoding that goes along with this. Like it's a whole process. It's not as simple as I'm making it. But moral of the story is, BLT, welcome on in. No, we're not doing that. It's great to see you. So first things first. Your bit rate should equal half of your upload. Whatever your upload speed is for your internet, Do half of that, and that should be your bit rate. Like, automatically, right? Because you're not going to be able to keep the same thing, number one. All right? So that's number one. Okay? All right. Number two is I see this like way too many times, and it's literally the fact that everyone's trying to stream at 1080p 60 FPS. Twitch does not do that. Even partner streamers like have not like a lot like I've been seeing more and more change their transcoding to like 936 because it's better. Because 1080 is like, it's not true. It's just, you're not going to get it. I'm telling you right now, like, I've been doing this for almost 5 years. I've talked to a lot of partner creators. I've talked to a lot of creators in general, and we've all seen our streams. We've all looked at our VODs. We've all had these big group discussions. You're not going to be able to get it. It's just, you're not. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. It's just not worth it, you know? So what I have done is I was like, okay, well, what if I went above 720, but I still stayed below 1080, right? Which leads me to my next one. If you're gonna like stream at all, like, you know, definitely do like testing. If your upload speed's not the greatest, you know, start at like 720. I would like that's the lowest I would keep it at, and then like just test out what your PC can do. Like, are you streaming from your CPU, which is X264, or are you streaming from your GPU? Again, you can find all of these things. We've already discussed them in the past. I'm just trying to quickly go over this because it needs to be talked about. I've literally like talked about this to like a lot of my friends in the past like 3 weeks. There was like 6 streamers I talked to, and they're like, man, like 1080, like it's not what I thought it would be. And I'm like, I know. So, and then I tell them, I'm like, type in 1664 by 936, and you'll notice that 936, and then there's 720, and then you have like 1080 right here, right? So you'll notice like on resolutions, like everyone's like, oh, I want the best resolution, the best quality, and everything else. Like when I'm watching videos, makes sense, you know. Like so, a lot of people will automatically go 1080 immediately. They'll go 1080. So 720, right, is like, you know, I would say the lowest I would go. Right? So if this was a scale, right? If this was a scale, this one I would completely mark off the books. So you basically have like the lowest to like the highest, and then unrealistic, which is this one right here. This is unrealistic. It just is. So, yeah. Where can we change the bit rate? So if you go into OBS, which I can show you real quick, I'll open up a standard OBS. So this is the latest and greatest OBS like update. This is version 30.1.1. If you're wanting to do any of that, go to settings, right over here. Like you just click down here, go to settings, go to output, and then you're gonna have simple or advanced. I would go ahead and switch this over to advanced. Mainly because it's a lot easier to work with. So you'll see audio encoder. Don't worry about that. There's only one as of right now, so you can't really do much with that. Video encoder is the video that you're sending over to whatever platform you're streaming to, and it's what you're using. So 264 again is your CPU, and then like I have an AMD, which is my GPU. I've always told people this, and I'm always going to tell you this. If your CPU is better than your GPU, use your CPU. If your GPU is better than your CPU, use your GPU, which is your graphics processing unit. And that's what we use for video games. I stream off of my CPU because both of them are amazing, and because I stream off my CPU, that is less taxing on my graphics card when I'm playing video games. So it's better for me to do it this way. Now, don't copy my setup, because guess what? My setup is going to be different than yours. Everyone's PC, everyone's specs, everyone's internet is different. The biggest thing when it comes to streaming is honestly ISP. Like, just talk to your ISP. I've dealt with them for 2.5 years. I finally upgraded to business internet because I had to. And, like, that's just how it had to go. So, yeah. I'm in the wrong settings. Wait, what? Doesn't give me the option of simple or advanced. And I have the latest version. it should in output mode. So if you go over to output, and then you go to output mode, there's advanced and there's simple. This is on all versions of OBS. Like, well, majority. Yeah. 1079 is below. DLC, I love you. Uploads 1 gig. Yeah, but you're not actually getting 1 gig. Me and you both know that. Everyone's like, my download and upload's 1 gig though, MVK. You're not truly getting that. Because it can go up to 1 gig. That's how much you're paying for. But you're not, but every time like they say like 1 gigabyte, you're gonna get like half of that. Or maybe 75%. Unless you have optic fiber. Then, you know, good for you. Fiber's great. So yeah, that's how you would change that. And then you go down here, CBR, which is constant bit rate. You would change this. And again, like it's half of your upload speed of your internet. So just do a quick test to see like what your download and upload is. Upload's the more important one. That's the one we need. And then half of that upload speed needs to go to your bit rate. I wouldn't go below like 2500 bit rate. That's when things start getting a little bit choppy. Since my video bitrate is at 4K, that's why your screen was black. Do not make it 4K. Do not make it 4K. Twitch does not support 4K streaming. 1080 is the highest you can go. That's literally why you wasn't able to stream the other day and your screen was black. That's exactly what will happen because yeah, you can't stream 4K on Twitch. No. That's impossible. As of right now, until they update it. I'm gonna have to rewatch this vid. Klingon, I have multiple videos that I suggest everyone to go look at. Like, I know people like watching me live and everything. Like, it's easier for Q&A. I highly suggest to go to the YouTube channel and all your questions, a majority of them will be answered if you just scroll down and like you just go to my OBS classes. Just literally OBS tips and tricks. There's so many videos that I made just like saying the same thing. Go over here. I'll even link it to you. So that way, like, you know, you could just go back and watch these. A lot of these I gotta delete. Don't watch like beginning ones. Like start with episode 1 right here. Like over here, start with episode 1. These other ones, I'm probably gonna delete. Cause like this is old. That was like 3 years ago. I'm a changed man now. I know what I'm doing. This is a silly man. But yeah, I'll link it to you in chat. Just like go back and like watch these videos and like it'll make your life so much easier. I promise. But that's all I wanted to talk about as far as like bitrate goes and everything. Just to tell people because a lot of people's just been having issues like with their streaming and everything. You changed it? There you go. Yeah. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But today we're going to be talking about plugins. I've already I've talked about how to install plugins, but we're going to go through how to do it and everything. So I have the links in the description down below. Y'all can follow through with everything. You were so proud of it at the time. It's such crap quality though. Like, I mean, as a creator, like you want to evolve and get better. I'm looking back, like, yes, it's nostalgic, but oh my God.
No.
It was such crap. It was awful. I was proud of it just for the fact that like I was doing something. You know what I mean? I mean, BLT, you've been here for a minute, so you would know. I posted screenshots on my speed test. I do get 1 gig both ways. You probably have fiber. Y'all probably have fiber, which is great. Like, fiber's absolutely amazing. Alrighty. So I already exited out of the other OBS because when you're installing a plugin, do not have OBS open. If you do, then your OBS plugins aren't going to work when you install them. When you do install these OBS plugins, make sure that you're going to the right place in order to install them, because I've also had some people not do the installation correctly, and that's why they was having so many issues. So make sure like you go to the right place to install it. So let's go ahead and switch over to this. So the first one that we're going to go over today is a stroke glow shadow. basically, like, what this does is, like, whatever source you put this on, it'll create, like a line, like a color line around it. You can have a glow about you. You can put on your camera. You can put on your games. This could be like a channel point, fun little thing you could do. But, like, this is essentially what it does. Like, there's other things you could do with it, but, like, this is, like, the bare basics, you know? This is, like, this is the stroke one that you could just add, and, like, it'll show you, like, you know, step one, like, what source do you want? Position. Do you want it to infill? Like, all these other options that you can, like, set up. Then there's the glow effect. The glow effect's kind of cool. I have an idea for this one. I'm not going to share it because, like, I want to do it, you know, let it be, like, a unique idea, but I know what I'm going to do with this one. This is going to be, like, really, really cool once it's implemented. And then there's also, like, a shadow effect. I like the shadow because it kind of adds, like, more depth into your webcam. So you see how, like, my webcam is right now? Like, let me show you. You see, like, how, like, you know, you can see the corners and everything. Like, it's really bland. If you look at this one, I'm probably going to add this to mine because it kind of gives it a more depth of field to it, and it just looks nice. It looks really cozy. It looks like it's hanging on a wall. Like, it's just nice. So I might end up doing that. I think that'll be a lot better. Alrighty. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to download this one. Again, the links are down in the description below. So once you click download, you're going to see, like, all of this. If you have a Mac computer, download the Mac one. If you have Linux, download Linux. If you have Windows, download the Windows. It's that simple. I download the zip file because, you know, it says, like, there's the installer, which will, like, install, like, it already on there and everything. I like doing the zip file. Pretty old-fashioned when it comes to these plugins by now. So we're going to do that. We're just going to go over here. We're going to click download. And then, boom. Huzzah. It's already downloaded. Look at that. Amazing. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go and find your OBS, right? So down here, if you open up File Explorer, you go over to your C drive, and then you go over to Program Files 86. When you scroll down, you're going to see OBS. You're not going to see OBS on mine because I had to fadangle mine and move it, so mine's on Program Files, but majority of y'all is probably on 86. But once you see OBS Studio, you'll double click on it, and we're going to keep this one open because this is where we're going to move our plugin that we have into OBS. Now, the one I'm using is an Obs Class. It is a brand new one. So mine is actually located somewhere else. So just for context, y'all's is going to be in the C drive. Mine somewhere else. Don't even worry about it. It's all good. So first things first, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to move this over. I'm going to make a folder real quick. I suggest y'all do this when you download plugins as well. This one right here, we're going to call it OBS plugins for class. Sure, why not? We'll do something like that. Which I think I already have the folder. No, I don't. Oh wait, I do. OBS tutorial. Yeah. So I already have one. It's called OBS tutorial. So, like, this is like where I have all of my plugins and everything at. But I'm going to make these temporary folders so I can go in and wherever I downloaded, like, you know, the other plugins, it's going to be my download folder. So I'm going to call this one, this is the OBS stroke and glow filter. So this is like just a plugin. So I'll go to my downloads real quick. I'm going to cut this because I'm going to completely move it. Then we're going to go over here, paste it, and then I'm just going to unzip this folder. That's all I'm going to do. Just extract it here. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'm confused now. I mean, that's all good. Oh my god. BLT, behave yourself. God dang it. Absolute heathen. Alrighty, let's see what we got here. So we're gonna grab the data and OBS plugins real quick. And we're going to copy them. All right. Then I'm going to go to my OBS classes file location real quick. So I'm going to pull that up. And then once I pull up the file location, all I'm going to do is just literally just go over here. I'm just going to hit paste. So now what it just did was now in my OBS tutorial, like now the plugin will be installed because I just downloaded it. So now that we downloaded it, I can get rid of this file and then I can just delete it. It's gone. Like, don't even have to worry about it, right? So now, like, we're all set and ready to go. I'm just going to leave this other one open just so it's easier for me. When you're installing multiple plugins, it's good just to have like another box already like set up. So that way you can just click and drag and download real quickly. All right. But let's go ahead and let's like, you know, look at the plugin we just installed. So when you open up OBS, it's going to look blank, right? Like it's going to be like, oh, well, did I install it correctly? Well, this is a stroke glow shadow effect. So you have the stroke around you, the glow effect, and then you have a shadow effect, which means that it's a filter. So it's not going to be like, you know, anything looks like anything happened. So for example, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to add a camera source and we're just going to use, I don't know, we'll just use my Elgato face cam, right? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my cameras real quick. Gonna deactivate it so I can use it for this tutorial. Boom, there we go. All right. Bada bing, bada boom. We are done. All right, so now I got my camera on here. So now that I have my camera on here, all I gotta do is if I go to my video source, I click on filters, right? And then I can go to effects. And then the first thing you're gonna see is stroke, shadow, and then the glow effect. So if I do the glow effect, right, you can name it whatever you want. Like, I don't know, you can call it like praise the sun. Praise the sun for Dark Souls. So position, it could be outer glow or inner glow. I'll just do outer, triangular, or dual quasi. Dual quasi is actually pretty cool. Infill. And then what I can do now is like, I could change the color to be like yellow, right? And then I can make the size of it. I can like change like the intensity and all these other things, right? I mean, it could be, you could have it on the box, like the outside if you wanted. Like if you wanted a webcam one, that'd be nice. I know, BLT. I'm just saying, like, you know, while I'm doing this, brother, that's all. My DMs are always open, man. When you download plugins, oh my goodness, bunch of memers. But yeah, that's basically it. Like, you could do whatever you want here. You can base it off of the source. Like, you can go fill type, and then you could choose the actual source. So, like, for me, I would choose Elgato face cam, right? And then I can, you know, change whatever I want here. Like, I could essentially, like, add 2 plugins for this effect where I can, like, stack them on top of each other. So, like, let's say that I wanted to go crazy and I wanted to, like, let's say I wanted to just do a color, right? So I'm going to, like, you know, just turn it off, turn it back on, go over to triangular and just leave it at this. So I can change the size, whatever I want, the intensity of the glow. You know, you could have like a little bit of an outline to it, which I think would be absolutely amazing. Like, and you can literally set this up right over here to the point where this could be a channel point. So, like, how cool would it be, like, if you just toggled it on, right? And then, like, it had, like, a fancy effect and everything, like, when someone activated a channel point or a command or whatever, and you'd be like, oh, praise the sun. I don't know. You could do, like, it's just, figuring out like what works for you, you know, like that's really it. Like, what do you want to do when it comes to this? I don't know. For me, I kind of want to, I personally would go in here and like, I would just add something else. So like, let's say we had the glow effect, but like, let's say you also wanted to add the stroke effect, like around you, like your person. So like, we'll just keep it as that, you know, same thing, whatever. We'll make the glow yellow too, just the same color, right? So this is like where I can make the intensity of it and everything else. If I wanted to like offset it, I could offset it. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that you could do with this, right? Like, it all depends on like what you're trying to create. I'm just showing you like what the plugins, like what their intentions are, what they can do, and everything in between. Like, that's it, you know. But I like the little like glow effect like around it. Like, that's, I don't know. There's a lot of things you could do with it. Like, get creative. That's the one thing I say. Like, when you're messing around with plugins, especially like for the first time, it's good to like figure out like what's gonna work and what doesn't. You know, like for this one, like this is the glow effect, and then this is like the stroke effect, right? And what's neat about it is like, I want to see something actually. I want to go to Elgato Facecam, and I want to see like exactly what I can do. I think with the sources, what you can do is like probably like add a color correction in here and like change the color, which I think would be kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like, you could have like a box within a box, you know, like if you wanted to like make like a game show or something, I think that'd be really cool. I think that would have like a really neat effect to it. I don't know. I like it. But I think with this, like one thing I think I forgot to mention is, I think this only works if you have NVIDIA. As far as this goes, I think you need NVIDIA in order to make this work even more, because it's trying to outline like my body right now, and it's having a little bit of issue trying to do that. So that's probably what it is. Like, if I wonder what the dual quasi. Yeah, it doesn't even change anything. Huh, how about that? Interesting. Well, learn something new every day. Interesting. How about that? Well, learn something new every day. At least we know we could do like the borders though. Like, a lot of people, like, you can change the color to whatever you want. Like, you could have, you know, this color right here. That's like a free like webcam overlay. If that's what you wanted, like for your stream, like just something simple, like nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. You could just do that. I want to see if the shadow effect works. That's what I'm curious about. The shadow effect is like the one that I'm really, really curious about. Because this one, oh yeah, that shadow does look nice. Ooh. Yeah, I like that. See, it like makes everything a little bit more in depth, and then you can change the intensity of it. I actually really like this one. Change the light angle. Probably change the light angle. Oh, and you can center it up. Ooh, that's neat. You could have like the shadow like facing a different... See, like that's really cool. I like the shadow one. That's really nice. Ooh, pink. Okay, I'll change it to blue. There you go. Blue is my favorite color. But yeah. So that's something you could do. You could change like the shadow distance, you know. I don't know. Like, go crazy with it. Like, that's like the first plugin I wanted to show y'all. So if you wanted to like, you know, get it all set up, you could. I want to see something though, as far as this goes. Source face cam, position outer stroke. Okay. Doesn't look like that one, but okay. So it says that if I change the source to face cam, I can change everything else. But when I go to OBS, and I go to the stroke, and if I make it, it won't let me choose the color. It immediately like turns it off. Like I can only choose the fill type. So like I want it to be blue, and it should be doing it to the Elgato face cam, but it's not. Interesting. It said outer stroke. Okay. Interesting. I'm curious because like they updated this, so like I kind of want to like reach out to the dev and ask him about this to see like what he thinks. I think is it stroke low 1.02? That's probably why. Okay, that makes sense. Either way, that's only one of the plugins we're going over today. Let's go ahead and delete these, and let's see the other plugins that they got. Just gonna go ahead and fix this up. Whoop. There we go. Alrighty. So that's one of the plugins if y'all want that. The other plugin I wanted to go over is the Move Transition. This one right here is actually like really, really neat. The Move Transition is basically like, I'll play this video real quick, just to like give you an example. But what this like plugin allows you to do is like you can move text around, you can like zoom in on things, you can like, it makes like everything you're seeing right here, like you see it all the time on NFL, like, and like other like popular, you know, sports channels and everything. You can move it wherever you want. You can move text wherever you want. It's a really, really neat plugin. Like this one, I feel like a lot of more people should use. It's just really, really neat. So we're going to do the same thing as before. I'll have to exit this OBS, and then we are going to download this plugin. Again, all the links to these plugins are in the description down below. You can go, this is going to be Move 2.11. So we're going to go ahead and click download, and we're going to go to Windows zip file. Then we're going to download it. Then what we're going to do is once it's in our download file, go over here, and we are going to open up another one of these right now. So I'm going to go to downloads, and then again, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to make a new folder, and I'll just call this one Move Transition. Yeah, Move Transition. There we go. Attack Rack, welcome on in. How we doing? Yes, I'm on YouTube. Yeah. I'm trying to get back into doing my OBS classes because I really, really enjoy these, like teaching people some interesting things you could do. We're talking about OBS plugins right now and the things that you can do with it. And there's this one called Move Transition that I recommend everyone do. So we're just going through the steps. Like I've talked about how to, you know, install plugins like so many times at this point that everyone should probably know how to do it. If you don't, that's fine. I can teach you. How are you doing today though? I hope you're doing well. So now that we have the Move Transition, again, just go where you have OBS installed. It's more than likely on your C drive, program files, beginning parentheses x86. Mine's in program files again because the way I have it set up, it's just I'm interesting that way. I'm an interesting lad. Don't ask me why. It just happens this way. So we're going to paste these in here. So now that I've pasted them in there, now I can open up my OBS class. I can delete this because I moved them. They're done. Don't need it. And now, once I open up OBS again, now we're going to have a Move Transition plugin, which is really neat. So let's say that I make another scene. Like I want to call this one, I don't know, call it, this is going to be like our, like supposedly, like let's say I wanted to set up like 2 cameras. So I'll be like 2 camera setup. So like, let's say I wanted to set up 2 cameras with this, and like, I want this one to be my just chatting scene. And then this one has like multiple cameras on it, which is an idea that I might actually do. I don't know. So what we can do now is we can go ahead, go to our video capture device. I'm going to add the Elgato face cam, but then Hopefully the other camera will be nice to me today. We'll see. We'll see. For some reason, the C922 has been an absolute... No, it's not going to work for me today. That's fine. That's fine. I could do this with the same source. Because what I can do is I can just duplicate this. I'll just duplicate the same source. So we're just going to go over here and we're going to paste this. And then I'm just going to drag it down here. So let's say, like, you know, you have like multiple cameras that you want set up and you want to use. So what you could do essentially is, like, we're going to make a move transition. So if you go over to your scene transitions over here, you can click add and you'll now see there's a thing called move. That's the move transition. So we're going to click on it and we're just going to leave it as move. Like, you can call it something else. Like this one could be like, move. Let's say we'll call it move to 2 cameras. There we go. So that's what it's going to be called. So now that we have this, all we got to do is go through and we got to tell the move transition what to do and how we want things to move around. So, like, this one's really neat. You see this a lot with, like, NBA, esports, like the way they get the logos, like, coming out of nowhere and then to the center of the screen, and then they kind of like transition out. This is exactly what that is that you can do on your own streams. Like, if you wanted, like, your logo to, like, spin around or whatever, like, y'all remember, like, Scooby-Doo? You know, like, it would, like, spin around, you know, like, or like the old cartoon Batman, like how the bat signal, like the Batman, like, logo would go, and there would be, like, a spinning effect. You could do that. DJ Blade, welcome on in. Sparkles, great to see you. Skull, how we feeling? How we doing? Thank you so much for stopping on in. I appreciate it. I really, really do. I definitely want this OBS class to take off. It's good to be back to doing it. And my main goal is that, you know, y'all can learn something from it and create amazing content, or I could learn some things about OBS from you all as well. So if there's something you would like to see, again, feel free to comment down below. It would really help, you know, when it comes to, like, the content that we do provide in our classes. So we're talking about move transitions and different plugins that are essential, in my opinion, to have as a creator in 2024. And the links are in the description. If y'all have any questions, feel free to ask. I can literally stop what I'm doing. Like, I'll finish what I'm doing real quick. But honestly, I love these live streams because I get to help you. Like, if you are been struggling about, oh, how do I do XYZ? You can just ask. You know, and also you can go check out my other videos, which would really mean a lot. And then you can slap that like button. Really, really help out. So the first thing you'll see is match if the source name, and like, so it's telling us if the source name is this, we're going to match it if it contains the other source name with numbers removed from and matches the other source name, or with the last word removed matches the other source name. Basically what this is saying is if I was to go ahead and, like, press the preview transition, like, you'll see that's going to be really slow and, like, crazy. And that's because we have to change a lot of these settings, right? So you'll see, like, you know, that's at the top. Then we have our general, which is match nested scenes. Nested scenes are just scenes within another scene. That totally makes sense in my brain. Did y'all get that? It's a scene within another scene. We did an OBS class on it. Yeah, it's a nice way of doing things. But, like, not only can you scene nest, but you can also use a plugin called Source Clone, which I also recommend doing that as well. You know, times are changing, moving more and more away from plugins and using scripts. Scripts are amazing. Scripts are absolutely amazing. I don't blame you one bit. I'm probably going to do a class in scripts as well. Like, scripts make things so much easier. I'm going to go ahead and change some of these. Like, this is like, you know, match item will ease in and out when we do the transition. Then you have, like, the function. It could be cubic, quadratic. You know what I'm saying? Transition can cut, or I like the fade. I want it to fade. I think fade is, like, the best, like, transition that makes everything smooth. And then, what is this? Oh yeah, this is just the transition scale. So we can actually scale to aspect ratio, but only to the maximum size of each source. Always scale the sources, but keep the aspect ratio. Or you could stretch it. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it on max. We could change the curve and like how it curves in. And then the appearing items, same thing. I'm going to take off the zoom. I don't like the zoom effect. Zoom effect is like, it makes it look terrible. Also, center. No, we're just going to put that as none. Basically what center left in all of this means right here, it means that like if I'm switching from this scene, like this is scene A, this is scene B, right? If I'm switching to scene B, or I'm on scene B and I switch to scene A down here, from the left side, it'll come and swoop on in. And that's how it's going to swoop. So that's what this means by position. I'm going to put this at none. And I'm going to let it like naturally like happen, right? I'm going to do the same thing on this one. This is like the disappearing items, what they can do. You can make them zoop and do all kinds of craziness. I like things that are clean, subtle, and don't take away from the stream. That's like my biggest thing that I try to do. And I don't want the zoom effect. It's going to ease in and out. Yeah, we just want that. So let's see what this looks like. So it kind of like, you see how like how it's gonna like move and everything a little bit. I like that. I might change the curve a little bit. Let me see. That's not bad. Let's see what it looks like. Let me see. So with the two cameras, that's what it would do, right? Like my screen is gonna grow, but like if I switch to this one, it's also the duration is 6,000 seconds. Let's change that to like 3,000. Like half that time. See, that's pretty smooth. I like that. Now, let's say I wanted to make like a scene about like just with my monitor or something. Like, I don't know. So monitor scene, right? So what I could do then is like, I can use like, you know, I got my camera or whatever. This would be like my game scene or whatever. So I'll go from like this tiny box or whatever, like let's say, you know, make everything look really like nice, you know, real quick or whatever. Boom. All right, I'm a gamer. Awesome. I could go like from this to watch this. How cool is that? Let me turn on my camera. Hold on. Look at this. All right, let's get into the game. That's so smooth. And there's so many things you could do with this. Like, I can go over here. I could change the settings again. Like, look at this. So, like, I could change the setting for, like, this to have, like, a switch point, like, on how fast it does it and, like, transition. So, like, I have it on fade, right? But I could also, like, you know, it's on cubic to, like, keep, like, the aspect ratios and everything. I'm not going to mess with that too much. But because I changed the curve down here, the disappearing items to like more, it curves like into it easier to 1.40. It just makes it look so nice. Like there's so many things you could do with this because we can actually tell it. Like I can go over here and I'd be like, okay, position. So the appearing item, I want it to like swoop in. I want it to go, let's say like from the left, like top left. So I want like the next, like, you know, I want it to appear that way. The appearing item is going to come from the top left. And then when my little camera down here disappears, this one right here, I want it to go to the right. So I would go over here to position and then I could just be like, okay, like top right. So top left, it's appearing and then we're disappearing top right. So when I do this now, when I switch scenes, this is what's going to happen. You see how it's doing that? It appears, and then, like, watch this. See? And that's how it's going to move from now on. So, like, things being brought in, you see that? That's how it's going to look. So, if I bring in any other source, it'll come in from the left. So, like, this one right here comes in from the left, right? That's what I told the transition to do. But then I click monitor scene and boom, the other one swoops off to the right. How cool is that? I don't know. I get excited about these things. I'm a really big nerd. All right. I love this stuff. Plus, I like for y'all to like learn about these things as well. You know? What do y'all think? Do you have any questions on how the move transition works? Feel free to ask in chat. If I'm doing too quick, by the way, let me know. I'm seeing triple. It's not helping my double vision. I'm sorry. I'm just doing it as an example. But I do like, you know, taking out the zoom effect and taking out the position because it makes it look so much smoother. Like, I might start using this on my my actual streams. Like, I've had the double axes, like the axe transition, like for such a long time. But I might start using this because that just, it looks so smooth. And hell, you could even like change the transition time to be a little bit less if you wanted. Where it's not too quick, but like could you imagine like if I had the game, right? Like let me show a monitor. I'll show y'all. Here. Display capture. Let's show which monitor? This one. So this is y'all, right? So this is the monitor scene. This is like chat, you know, everybody say hi. Say hi for the YouTubes. Say hi for YouTube. Basically, like when I switch when I switch scenes, watch this. It covers it up. And then when I go to my monitor scene, and it has that fade. Do you see that? Do you see like that over here? Like how like it kind of just fades into existence? It's such a nice effect. It's so clean. That is beyond clean. So yeah, I might start using this. That's the plan. So this is the move transition. There's other things you could do with this. Like I can move different sources as well. You know, like, so if I actually go over here, right? The display capture, instead of like the display capture just showing, like if I go over here to filters, what I can also do is I can do like a move source, right? So that means when I move onto the scene, then I can make it appear like a certain way and everything else. You know what I mean? Right. Question. You'll add this plugin to the list below the VOD. It is in the list below. It's in the description. It's called Move Source plugin. Yeah, it's already down there. Yep, all you gotta do is do it. So there you go. Well, one and done. It's just one and done. I think it's actually move action. I apologize. I think it's move action that we need. It is. Yeah, move action is like basically like what we can also do is like, oh wait, no, it's not move action. It should be move source. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Put a little love in it. Video capture device. No, it should be move source. Filter only works on scenes and groups. Oh, that's right. That's right. You would have to make it. You'd have to make a nested scene in order to do. That makes sense. That makes sense. I'm a dum-dum. I had a moment. You have to put it on the scene itself. Move source. There we go. All right. So let's say the display capture. I wanted it to do something. So when I changed over to the scene, not only would my camera and everything like go in this position, like over here, but also what I could do is I could like set up a delay for it. I could again make it like transform, so like where it's at now, and then I can make it come from whatever direction by getting the transform right here, right? So I get the transform, and then once I do that, then I can put it all over here, and like there's a start and stop trigger where basically like what happens, what activates this filter happening, and then what will deactivate it. This one is a little bit more advanced. I'm gonna wait to show y'all this because we're not at the advanced portion of OBS classes yet. I'm just trying to show you like things that are like pretty simple, you know, because that one right there is like utilizing move transition along with moving a source, and then you have to get transform, which is basically the position of where your source is at in OBS. Like everywhere you go, like this one right here, like if I was to move this over here, do you see like these PXs, right? So this is like the position where it's at. So if I click on the source down here and I go to where is it at? Transform, edit transform. So you see like it'll say position 385 205. You'll notice it's already showing that on the left side. So the position is 385 and then 205. So if I type that in here, this is exactly where this will show up. And it'll even show like the size of it and everything else, you know. Position alignment, usually I would keep this like centered, but like, I mean, that's what it's automatically like set to. I mean, you can go back and change things, but that's how you would get your transforms, right? So like if I wanted to do like a move, if I wanted to move this source from like small to big, I would have to copy those down and then implement them and be like, okay, I want you to go from this to this and then back to this. So it's a little bit, you know, it's a little bit out there when it comes to those types of things. But yeah, I don't know. It's all about having fun when it comes to these. But we have one more plugin to go over, which means I'm going to have to shut down OBS and then we will go ahead and pull it up. The last filter slash OBS plugin is the really, really fun one. You ever see like those Snapchat filters that like have like these ripple effects like water and everything? So with OBS shade filter, I use this on my streams. You probably noticed it like when I go barbarian rage and everything. These are user defined shaders and like they have so many. Like, you know, you can bend your camera. They have literally the matrix, or you can be just one with the matrix. There's also the shader effect, like it's a blur shader. So like if you wanted to blur a background in a game to give it like a alternative effect. Bloom, I never use it because I don't like bloom effects in games. There's the burn shader where like you can actually have it like burn like whatever's happening in there. Cartoon effect I've used. All of these, like, I mean, you could just go through the list. Like, all of these you could do on your stream. Like, I have the, there's even a pill page one. I like this because, like, if you're, like, let's say, I want to give y'all a scenario. What if you read a lot of books? Like, let's say you stream and you read books or you, like, record videos. And imagine, like, every time you turn the page, this would show up. Like every time you turn the page, it actually turned you. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool. Use that. Pie chart. I've actually added a lot since I last looked at this. There's so many things. Like it just keeps going. It's just so silly. So many things. So if you want the silliness, all you got to do is again, go to download and we're going to do the exact same thing as before. You're gonna see like all these different ones and you're gonna be confused. It's fine, don't panic. If you use Mac computer, download the Mac version. If you use Linux, download Linux. If you use Windows, download the Windows. There's literally a Windows zip folder. We're just gonna download that. We're just gonna click on it, it's gonna download, and then all we gotta do is the exact same thing we did before. We're gonna pull up this right here are downloads. I'm going to make a folder real quick. And we'll call this one new OBS plugin. Because why not? Have some fun with it. I'm going to open up my OBS class file location. Which mine's going to be different because I have 2 OBS running right now. For teaching purposes. Alright, sweetness. So now that I have these set up, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, cut, paste. I'm going to extract. The file is here. And every time you're going to see data and OBS plugins. Every single time. All we're doing is grabbing these both. You can hit control and then left click. Grab them both. Hit cut. And then move them over to where you have OBS installed. And you'll see the exact same thing. Data and OBS plugins. So the data is like the data from the OBS plugins for them to work and vice versa. So we're going to hit paste and then boom, it's done. So now when I open up OBS, now we're going to have like this cool shade filter effect, right? And again, you're not going to notice any change when you open up OBS, which is fine. We're going to zoom in right here, click on filters, and then this is where the fun begins. You'll now see a thing called user defined shader. That's the shade filter. So, like, you can name whatever you want. We're gonna call this one having a good time, because we're having a good time because we're gonna be messing around with the different shader effects. So you'll notice that there's effect file and then load shader text from file. If I click on the top one, nothing happens, and I'll explain why. If I click on the bottom one, now you're gonna see browse. So there's load shader text from file. Some of these effects have a dot effect and some of them don't. So you have to uncheck mark this for some of the filters to work. I'll show you. So like, let's say for example, I want to do an animated texture effect. So because it has that dot effect on it, if I double click, I would have to have the use effect in order for it to work, because it is indeed an effect. And then, like with this one, apparently you could choose an animated image. So, like, I guess I could do this of like the two camera scenes, and now this is happening. So, like, I could choose the source that I want to use. So, like, let's say I just want to use my Elgato face cam. It's not going to work because I need to use something from another one, like display capture, or actually I would need to do the two camera setup. And then, like, or you could just browse, like, different animations. Like, I don't know if it's going to allow me to do GIFs. But, like, let's say you have a funny GIF that you would love to use with, like, whatever you're already using. So, like, me dancing, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of things you can do with this. I've always supported this nonsense. Hey, it's Andy. Welcome on in. How we feeling? How we doing? Great to see you. Appreciate you being here. So yeah, there's a lot of different effects that we have right here. Like, just mess around with them. You'll notice that some of them like have errors. Like, not all of them work. They're still trying to fine tune them to see, like, you know, which ones they need to go back and work on. But then you have like a doodle effect one. I'm not a fan of this one. It's just kind of making me all bouncy. Like, I don't know. You could do like an earthquake effect. Well, welcome on into our OBS classes, Sandy. I appreciate it. So, yeah, like, we're just looking at, like, these different plugins you could, like, use. The blur shader's a really nice one. I like this one a lot because I can, like, do this. You know what I mean? So, like, back when these filters came out, like, something you could do is, like, barely do it. You know what I mean? And what you could do is, like, this could be your starting soon for stream. Like, let's say, like, I'm sitting down and I'm getting everything prepped, typing on my keyboard, like, jamming out. You could do, like, a starting soon for your streams, you know, things of that nature, you know, or you could have it, like, really, like, blurry, you know, as a channel point. Like, I've seen, like, people, like, I'll show you something. You could totally steal this idea. But, like, hear me out. Like, you see how, like, my face is blurry? Well, I've seen people do this where, like, they'll even go in, they'll add the same camera source, right? But you'll notice that when I do that, it still has that. So now I gotta make a nested scene. That's why nested scenes are a thing. So if I really, really wanted to, I would take this effect off of, like, the actual one. I would just copy this and then I would delete it. Actually, no, I'll keep it there for now. Like, let's say on my monitor scene, right? So here's my monitor scene. Yeah. So let's say that like I wanted the blurry background, but like I wanted my camera like still here. So what we could essentially do, because I put Elgato Facecam in here, right? I'm going to delete this and I'll show you why. I'm going to put the scene in here instead. This is called scene nesting, right? So this is the scene with my camera, okay? And what I'm essentially going to do is like, I'm going to still like crop it down real quick. Is this fun? I hope y'all are enjoying this. I love this stuff. I'm a huge weeb about this. So you put it over here, right? So now I'm over here. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Name's Viking. Nice to meet you. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the blur effect on. So because I have this scene on, right? What I can do now, I can add a filter to the scene and it won't affect this one. Like, that's the cool thing. It won't affect this at all, right? So if I put any filter on this, it won't affect it. Now, I'm going to have to do a scene nest within a scene nest. And this is where things kind of get complicated. So scene is our camera scene. This one's going to be, I'm going to call it my blur camera scene. And I'll show you why I have to do it this way. So I'm still going to add the scene, right? This is my camera. This is what we need. But instead, I'm going to add the blur effect to this scene, right? Now, when I do this, I go back to my monitor scene, right? And now what I can do, you'll see my camera's not blurry because I put it in this one. So now if I go to scenes and I go to blur camera scene, see this? Now watch this. What I can do is I can change the position of this, put it behind the source, and like I can have like this like sort of blurry background like around myself. Like if I lined it up correctly, so if I, you know, I could copy the transform. So literally I go over here, you know, transform, copy, go here, and then paste. So now it's directly behind my camera. But that kind of defeats the purpose because I kind of want the blur effect. Like I want to see it. So if I sort of like branch it out a little bit, you'll notice that like now there's like this blur effect around the border of my camera. Like how cool is that? Like it's like you can see my hand. You see how like it's like a prism? I don't know. Is that cool? I just come up with random ideas. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of things you could do with this. I've seen a lot of people, also what they do is like, they'll have their game scene, but we're going to use like this monitor. So like, let's say this monitor's your game, right? And like what they'll essentially do, they'll stretch out their scene, which it doesn't look the greatest, but, I'll have to do this. I'm gonna have to reset this actually. So they'll stretch it out, their scene like this. And then what they'll end up doing is like they'll make another display capture. So they'll they would have to go to the blur camera scene essentially, and like they would have to make another blurred effect and do another scene nest, right? And what you could do is have a blurred monitor like behind this part of my camera, right? Like, I know this might sound weird and complex. I'm sorry. Also got to run. Just wanted to pop and say hi. I appreciate it, Insanity. Thank you. Appreciate it. I appreciate everybody stopping on in. But yeah, you could definitely like do something like that. I think it'd be like a really neat idea, you know? It obviously would look kind of weird, I guess is the best way to put it. I think it would look a little bit weird, you know? And the other thing you'll notice, like with a move transition, if I have a filter, like a scene nesting like this, you'll see like it has to transition and then activate the filter. There is other ways to avoid this from happening. Because I've had people like talk to me about like, oh, move transition's great, but then I start, you know, adding these different effects and it kind of messes everything up. Like if I go from like this scene over to monitor scene, you'll notice like the border like is natural, right? And that's because it's going from scene to that. Usually you're not going to go to your nested scenes. You're not going to click on them randomly. So that's how you avoid the problem. Like if I just go back and forth, it'll naturally just do it. But just for jokes, I'm going to make a nested scene real quick. We're going to call this blurred display. So blurred display capture, I'm just going to do the exact same thing I did before. I'm just going to like literally paste the same thing. Except I need to change a few things. So this is having a good time, right? So we're going to go over here. I'm going to go to display. Where's it? Where are you at display? There you are. Display capture. So like it's going to show this. It's going to look like really, really like rough because if you notice when I go to the scene, I go to filters. If I bring this down, like there's the monitor. So we're not going to make this nearly as strong. I'm just going to give it a slight blur because I don't want it to be too much. So like I'm going to do this at level 2. And now what I'm going to do is when I go to my monitor scene, so these down here we don't need. So I'm just going to reorganize this. So blurred camera scene, I'm just going to drop it down. So if I go over here, right? This is my monitor scene. We're going to add this black space. It's going to like have a really cool effect. Not liking the blurry stuff except for the prism effect on the edge. What, like this right here? I mean, I do like the prism effect. I just came up with that idea literally during the stream. You could totally steal it. That's fine. Use it on your stream. I might use it on mine. Like, you know, be creative with your own things, but like just put things together. That's why I love... That's the one thing I love about like OBS and content creating is that you're literally creating nothing into something. Just press a bunch of buttons. Literally just like mess with the scales and everything else and just have fun. Like that's the best way I could ever tell people. Like if you're having problems with like the plugin working, 90% of the time it's because it's not updated. But that's like the fun of like doing this, you know. I'm very grateful to be able to do this full time, and I couldn't do it without everybody's support. So thank you again for that. I really do appreciate it. But I just want to see how this is going to look. I want to see if this is going to look like... It's probably going to look awful, but I have to see it for myself. So blurred display. So I want to see something. What if I do this? So I'm going to put this below my camera. And below this, I want to see something. Like, what if I get this? Like, I'm trying to see, like, how this would look. Because, like, where my camera's at. You know what I mean? I'm trying to see, like... I'm trying to see, like, how this would look if I... Or if I would have it centered. I don't know. Kind of looks weird, doesn't it? Well, I do this on my Zelda games. I mean, you can mess around with this yourself. Personally, like... I like it with the Zelda games. I think it looks really, really nice. But that's not bad. I don't know. It gives it like a cool effect. Like, again, you could just mess around with it, see what works with you. But, yeah. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. It's something different. I don't know. It's something different. It's definitely like a lot of effects in one scene. I probably wouldn't do this. But I definitely do like the, I like the prism. The prism idea is really, really neat. Another thing you could do, let's go ahead and head back over to the main camera. So, like, another thing we can mess around with is, if I just put this back on, we have, like, so many, like, look at all these effects. Like, I mean, you could do a circle shader. You ever wanted to, like, you see those, like, people that have, like, an eye? You could, like, set this to be an eye. I mean, I'm not even kidding you right now. Like, you could easily, like, extra pixels on the left. Like, watch. You could, like, extend it, close it. You know, I could, like, move it around. I don't know. There's so many things you could do with this, man. You know, like, you could be an oval. There's a border shader where, like, essentially what this one does is, like, if I set this to, like, 100... and then I just copy this. So I just put this in all of them. I can essentially make my own border. And then I could change it to whatever color I want. So I love the color blue. And then boom, now I have a camera that's like this color. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Like, you know what I mean? Not that difficult. It's, you know, it just works. It just works. Yeah. It's nice to be able to do stuff like this. But you'll notice, like, with this one, like, you're gonna have to drag it out a little bit. Yeah. I like that effect. Yeah, like, imagine if you did this, and then, like, you know, remember that glow effect we had? So, like, this is where you get to have fun as a content creator, where we could essentially... like, let's say you wanted blue and yellow. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out, like, what would work and what looks good and what doesn't. But, like, essentially, like, you see this? Like, look how cool that is. And then I could change the intensity to whatever I want. Look at that. How cool is that? Congratulations. No one else has this. You have this. This is now yours. Or, what I think would be cool is I could do red, white, and blue. Because I'm a disabled veteran. And also, you know, God bless the USA. All right? Like, look at this. Look at this. Red. Look. Look at this. Watch this. See? How cool is that? That is cool. Yeah, exactly. So, like, now I have my own custom, like, thing. What I would probably do is I'd probably not make the effect, like, that much. I'd probably go, like, 50. I think 50 is a good one, so, like, I'll show you, like, what this will do. So, I want to change this to 50, and then I'm just going to go down the list. So, 50, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, and paste. So, I'll probably just leave it at 50, close this. So, then when, like, I'm doing this, now look at it. It's got, like, this retro kind of feel to it. It kind of gives me, like, an 80s vibe. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a retro gamer or, like, you know, you love 80s, like the, you know, just 80s stuff, and, like, that's the theme of your channel, like, you could use something like this, you know? There's so many potentials that you could do. There's so many things you could do. Not only do they have border shaders, though, they also have the burn shader. So this one, what is essentially, this one's just like a fire effect. So, like, if I make this all 0 again, like, right? I'm going to make that all 0. The gradient, we can change. I'm going to put this on my camera. So, like, now my camera, you'll notice that, like, I could change, like, if it's animated, I could apply it to the channel, you know, where, like, it'll look like, it'll give it, like, a nice burning effect. So, like, now, this is what it's going to look like. So this is my camera. It looks kind of goofy right now because I got to go through the settings. But essentially what I can do is I could go in and I could make like the smoke however I want. Animate refers to the burn effect. Okay, so like apply smoke. I'm trying to see how like dissolve value. Like, can I just like make that 1? Speed, 1. Apply smoke. And then smoke vertical speed, let's see. Trying to see, like, I'm just messing around with this myself. So that's the speed of the smoke. That's fine. I don't know. It's a smoke effect. There you go. Look. Oh, I move. Whoa. That's actually really cool. You'd be like a DJ or something. That's actually really cool. I like that. Whoosha! Bum, 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 bum. That's neat. I don't know. Yeah. They just have like all these different effects. Let's see what else we got. Another good one that like I would recommend is like Circle Mask. That's a good one. There's Dead Pixel. The Pixel one is like, here, I'll show you. I'll show you what this one does. Is this an effect? Let's see, reload. It is not effect. Roger that. So this one right here is like extra pixels that like I can like show on like the screen and everything. So like everything in the background, if I had a game, like it would all look like pixelated. That's essentially what this one does. I'm just gonna go ahead and put all this back. So let's go ahead and let's look at another one. Smoking hot now that you're burning? Apparently that is the case. There's also drunk shader. Apparently there's a drunk shader. How's this? Oh. Okay. That's not creepy at all. Oh my god. Wait a minute. This is actually really cool. I haven't seen this one yet. This is, wow. That's interesting. So, like, this one... So when it turns on, it does that effect. That's neat. That's actually really neat. So, like, look at this. Whoa, this is wild. That's trippy. That's definitely a drunk shader for sure. The shader needs to drink some water. Take an E, drink water, stay hydrated. God dang. Unbelievable. But yeah, like you can use all these effects. Like the program, the plugin literally comes with all of these. Go through them, have fun with it, make your own content with it. Like I said, like put multiple of these together. Like a lot of people ask about the rounded rectangular thing. You see a lot of streamers doing. Like it's actually like one thing that everyone does. Look at this. Look, I have rounded corners now. Look at me being a good old streamer. Yeah, that's simple. You can have borders if you want. Like this is how people do it. So like if I was to like switch over to my monitor scene, look at that. Well, I would have to do it to like the thing, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I could add like rounded borders if I wanted. That's how people do it. It's just adding. It's literally like that's it. So this is how you get the rounded borders. You could also like add in like, you know, if you wanted to like crop it down and everything else, like you could set up with another scene nesting and do it that way as well. So yeah, that's basically it. That's really all I got. Those are the three plugins. I hope y'all enjoyed the class. Like again, I know I haven't been on the channel that much, and I do apologize for the lack of videos, the lack of content, and everything else. My editor has actually been doing a lot of things and been very, very busy. There is a lot of things that are coming up tomorrow. I will be nonstop recording YouTube content for next week. I'm going to a wedding, so you can expect some game videos, some react videos, funny laugh challenges, and other things of that sort. But I hope y'all enjoyed like these OBS classes. I am very dedicated and passionate to content creating and giving y'all as much as possible. So if you're watching the live feed, Thank you again for being here in the live stream. If you're watching the VOD, I appreciate everybody that stopped on by. Make sure you shield bash that like button, hit the notification bell with hitting that subscribe button, because I'm going to try my best to continue our every other Thursday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time live streams for OBS classes. For the rest of the video, you're good. I'm going to be talking to everyone that's in chat. So thank y'all again for being here. I appreciate it. I never knew about plugins. Yeah, the plugins are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. I love messing with plugins. There's so many things you can do with them. Yeah, that's why OBS is better than Streamlabs, because with Streamlabs you can't download plugins, right? And not only that, but Streamlabs takes up so much of your resource in PC, it's really not even worth it, if I'm being completely honest. That's why there's a lot of reasons why I stopped using Streamlabs. Like, don't get me wrong, I still have issues with OBS, you know, and then I have to go through and do the exact same thing as others, and it could be a pain. You know, it's any open broadcasting software. You know, it could be updates. It could be like a plugin you installed. Maybe it doesn't work with another plugin. You know, like having OBS issues and tech issues are the absolute worst. I just try to alleviate that in the best way I possibly can, right? Like, by no means, like, there are plenty of creators on the platform, especially on YouTube, that can teach you X, Y, and Z about OBS and everything else that are very successful. My thing about what makes, in my opinion, these classes unique is the fact that I break things down into a simple, like, ways to solve what you're trying to, you know, what you're trying to go for. And that's what I'm dedicated to do. I just want to help out other creators. I did not have anybody when I first started streaming in 2019. It definitely, like, it was just a different time back then. I've reached out to other creators. I got really shut down. I was not motivated to, like, do anything. But then I started finding the good people, the diamonds in the rough, and it was really nice. All these buttons to push sounds like an easy way to crash a Windows computer. If you only knew. If you only knew. So, like, when it comes, I'll show you something. Let me show you something. So this right here is my stream deck. This is my stream deck for streams. So, like, when it comes to buttons and everything, yeah, I get it. No. It's fun pressing buttons. I won't lie to you. I got to the point where I had to get another stream deck. Because what I ended up doing was I wanted to control, my mixer doesn't control all the audio. I have a stream deck dedicated to control Opera, which is my internet browser. Playlist for Stream Deck, playlist sound music that I get from Epidemic Sound, and then like my Spotify, and then some games I can't even control with my mixer. So I have to control it through here that controls it through OBS. Nice Stream Deck. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I just try to make things easier. Like, I got DMCA music for, like, when I'm playing, you know, that kind of tracks, and I don't want it on my Twitch VOD. And then the stream mixers for Epidemic Sound, which is copyright-free music. If y'all didn't know, in the links down below, I am also trying to make Ambassador with them. If you would like to, you know, have some DMCA safe music for you to stream and record your content wherever you want to post it on any platform, it would really mean a lot if you utilize my link. Making Ambassador is one of my goals. I think that'd be really cool for Epidemic, which is actually what you've been listening to this entire stream. We've literally been listening to it non-stop. So, you know, like a majority of the music that we play on my stream, like, you know, hype trains and everything, like, there's a lot of good quality music. It's not like those other ones like Pretzel Rock and, you know, back in the day, I used to use that all the time. Like, Epidemic's quality. Like, I mean, some of these I've even heard on Super Bowl commercials even. Like, these are for creators, you know, for vlogs, for everything else. So, again, feel free to, like, you know, go down in the description, check the Epidemic Sound. It would really mean a lot to me. Audio sound effects is the next thing. They also have sound effects. Like if you wanted to do like, what is it? Claps. Epidemic sound. Like, look at this. You have like multiple like different ones. Like I could do like what is it? Audience. What is it? Audience. Like you could have like people talking, applause. There it is. It's a nightclub. You know, then you have this. Like an actual like, you know, football crowd, outdoors applause. Like there's large group. So, like, there's all these different sound effects they have. They have, like, a bunch of music, crowd reactions. You could have, like, an old-timey black and white stream, you know, like, I don't know. It's just fun stuff. Like, people laughing. Yeah. So, like, you just download it and you can just put it in there. Absolutely. You're all set and ready to go. But that's Epidemic Sound for you. You can make your own playlist and everything. That's what I've done. So, yeah. But I hope you all enjoyed this. I really do appreciate everyone that stopped by in today's stream. So, again, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, and I hope you will join us in our next OBS class, which will be not next Thursday, but the following Thursday after that. That's when we're going to be doing it. This is a English-speaking channel, my friend. Unfortunately, I have no idea what that is, but I can actually translate it. Let's see what we got here. Google Translate. Why not? Let's see what this is. Enter text. Greetings. Have a nice weekend. Drone touring. Pilot Fink.
No.
What? I appreciate it. Is Epidemic sound expensive? As far as I know, like, when it comes, are you talking about like their prices and like when it comes to subscribing? I can actually show you, real quick what that is. Yeah, it's right here. So there's personal, which you can publish anywhere online, monetize one channel per platform, unlimited downloads, and access to Epidemic Sound's mobile app. So there's this right here. It's $9.99 per month. There's commercial, where you can choose multiple platforms to use Epidemic Sound on. Which, you know, that's 3 channels, so like YouTube, TikTok, and all of it. And then there's Enterprise, which you actually have to request a quote, which is using way more. If you're just using this for Twitch streaming, that's one platform, you're good. Since I'm using YouTube and everything else, I have to use commercial. Yeah. So it comes, and it will show you like what they all come with, like over 40,000 tracks, 90,000 sound effects. It's pretty great. Pretty great. Yeah. So it's up to you, like whatever you want to use, honestly. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and head out. I'm going to go be having dinner over at my brother's house. So everybody, thank you again for being here. My name is MVK. I love all your faces. Till next time. Hey, just remember that I appreciate a little support. You know, y'all sticking around for these. I really do love like OBS classes and getting to know y'all a little bit better, as well as, you know, y'all teaching me some things about OBS that I didn't know. So, till next time, be kind, be courteous to one another, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Take care, everybody.